Hi, Paul Rowan Clark here. I'm the product manager for A-Train 9 Railway Simulator, and some of you may have seen my videos on the sort of vanilla A-Train 9 before I was product manager for this, and thanks if you did. It got quite a few views, and it's what attracted the publisher's attention. I'll just run through a little bit of that history quickly. The new publisher is Digica, and they had nothing to do with publishing the previous versions. They sort of took over 8 and 9 as pre-published, but from now on they are publishing 9. It's the first one that they've gone from start to finish on, and I'm sort of their representative. I'm the liaison between you guys and them as far as the product goes. I know, because I've been involved for the last couple of months, how much work they're putting into regionalising this, making sure it's a very good product, very well supported with manual and documentation to start off with. The language makes sense. There are no bugs that we found in the game. I've probably got 30 or 40 hours in the 2 release candidates that I've seen before this, and they both worked very well. There you go. It's just about to start the attract sequence. But what I'm doing now is a let's play. Now, this isn't supposed to be a tutorial. I hope you'll pick up stuff from it, but I'm not doing it as a tutorial. The first thing was, how was I going to do it? Because, you know, there's a load of scenarios in here. All the scenarios from V1, the vanilla, V2 and V3. Some of them have got the new 1-to-1 perfect scale going on, so that everything's scaled realistically. Before, the trains were sort of oversized, but now with the 1-to-1 scale they're correct size. And I'm probably going to do a 1-to-1 because I like that. That's a really good idea. I like that. Now I could go to the map editor, create a custom game and do all that good stuff. Now the thing is, if you start from the map editor and create a custom game, that's a whole lot of extra work that isn't to do with playing the game that I'd go through, and that's really putting the cart before the horse, because I want to show you guys how you play the game. Now I've got a colleague at Digica who is going to, Jacob, who is going to do some really good tutorials on the 5 or 6 parts of this game that are quite tricky. So what I thought I'd do is I'd pick one of these scenarios, and the scenario I thought I'd pick would be one where there's plenty to do, where some of the groundwork's been done, so you wouldn't have to wait for ages for the AI to start building things and stuff like that, which I find enjoyable because you have complete control, but it does slow the early game down a little bit. But there's plenty still to do there without a lot of rail already in place. And the one I'm picking, if you want to follow along, is this Dormant Cavern town one. And it says, this region, known as one of the largest cities in the world, has gradually reclaimed its coastline. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. A once lively and prosperous shopping district has seen a drastic drop in popularity due to depopulation. A redevelopment plan for the region is expected as the economy for the entire region continues to drop further into deficit. It's a moderate difficulty. You start with $500 million or yen, and as you can see, it's sort of an N shape. There's a little bit of rail there, but it's mostly road. There's only a tiny bit of rail, and there's some real strange things going on there which we need to get fixed straight away, which gives us an opportunity, gives me an opportunity to show some of the things you can do in the game. So that's the one I'm going to pick. I'll try and keep these videos to 10 or 15 minutes each, so there won't be much left of this one by the time we get started, so let's crack on. Takes a few seconds to load. Here we go. So here's the map. We've just read what we need to do here. Here's the map, and it's as you can see, if we sort of follow it around a bit, we've got all of these little sort of hamlet things spread out along these roads. And so far we've not seen any rail. There is some rail on this map, which I checked earlier, but it's mostly all spread out. So and in most cases there's either one bus or no buses connecting these, and there's some strange stuff here which we need to fix pretty much straight away. I've got the map edge turned on there, but there we are. But it's there. Yes, we've got a bus and a couple of trucks there slowing each other down. We'll fix that. Here we've got a depot, and yeah, that's great. That's good. We've got a depot and a factory there, as you can see. Got other bits and bobs. So I'm just having a good look around here. Again, I'm not seeing any rail yet or a great deal of transport. Here's another depot, so we can send stuff here and start developing this area. In fact, that's probably a good. That's one I'll consider. You've got to start somewhere. You can't really hit everywhere at once, because all these little hamlets could be developed, and the AI will start to move on them at some point if we provide them with There's the agricultural. Here's the main sort of town area. Okay, well this is pretty good. What we've got here is a factory, and what we've got here is an area which has begun to be developed, and we can build a small train line and go from there to there, taking the stuff from this factory, build a depot here, perhaps here, bring the train line down and stimulate growth in this area, and maybe use some of our other cash to build some commercial stuff down here, build some industry up here, and maybe some residential down here. So let's see if we can get that started. So first thing we'll do is have a station. Now I'm going to have a normal ground level station. 6 platforms is enough. 6 length platform is enough, which means you have 6 carriages, or it's the engine and 5 if it's a steam train, or an engine that has a separate loco unit with no passenger capacity. And I'm just going to turn that around a little bit. I'm going to have it there. Now you see the green circle. It encompasses the factory, so it will pick up from that factory. So I'll grab that and put it there. I have 2 lines because I'm going to have one line dedicated to industry and another line dedicated to passengers, and I think we'll have the other one just here. That's perfect. So it's a nice short run to start off with. The 2 greens don't overlap, so there won't be any confusion there. That's great. Then we'll go for a bit of rail, and we're going to connect these up as simply as possible. So we'll fix that. I'm just clicking on the end of existing line. It's yellow if it's legal, if you can do it, and then dragging it around. This is actually quite simple to do. And let's have a look. If again, that's yellow, click, drag that to there. Laying track is really easy, and it's really satisfying as well. There we go. Now that should be long enough for us to have a nice gentle curve into, no, because we haven't clicked on it. There we are. Have a nice gentle curve into there. Is it going to let me? No, I'm going to have to do it in stages. That's fine, I don't mind doing it in stages. Fix that. So the track, you don't actually pay for it until you've clicked the second time, which I think is a really good, feature. There we are. So yellow means it's legal. I click once, and it places it, but only when I press fix does it actually fix it. Now this should let me, there we go, there's a bit of a kink, but not so important. Let's go down and do this in a bit more detail. Let's start at this end and try and work this around a little bit. In fact, what I might do here is just remove this little section of track, there we go, and then lay, so I'm just clicking lay. There we go. There we are. So now we've got the track between the 2 stations. So what we need to do now is get a couple of trains running. Now I think on the inside train we'll have on the inside line we'll have the commuter train. I'm going to click on number 2. We've got 0. It starts at 0 rather than 1. The train numbering. So we've got 0 and 1. I'm going to click on number 2. Buy, and I want a commuter. And we'll have the high-speed commuter train. Confirm the purchase, close, and back here you see he's now listed. Click on him, click place. Now I zoom in on here. There you are. You can put him on either line. You can reverse it, turn it around. So turn it around, it's facing the other way. Turn it around back again, so it's facing this way. Click him down, and there you go. Off you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Timetable Assistant on this straight away. Yep, and off it goes. So I'll let it run through. Now I want it to pick up passengers at this where it's going, and I want it to bring them back. Now it's going to only take passengers both ways, but the timing of the day that it picks up is really quite important. But I'm not going to worry about that at the moment because this is such a short run. But when we've got some serious hubs, I'd want to change the timing. Right, so this ground level station, I don't like the name Station 3, let's change it to Leafy Grove. I bet you when my city's grown to be absolutely massive, that's a slightly ironic name for it, but there you go. Leafy Grove. Action mode, I want it to stop for 10 minutes. Actually, let's increase that. I found a little thing with the game. I found if you leave it a little bit longer, trains tend to be a little bit more efficient, so 20 minutes is pretty good. Then I want it to reverse. If you say go straight on, it will carry on once I extend this. I want it to reverse and go back. At the moment, I want it to reverse and go back to this station it came from. Otherwise, it bounces off the end of the track and then go back anyway. I just want it to go straight back. Passengers getting on and off. Scheduled service. We'll have it all the time. The people will be travelling to work Monday to Friday to go to work, and Saturday and Sunday for leisure activities. Now, you'll do something different when you've got your freight train running, because the factory which supplies the goods for the freight train only builds the goods from Monday to Friday and doesn't do it on holidays. So we'll be doing that slightly differently. Okay, so we run it continuously. Just click the X and it's done it. So we now wait 20 minutes. So by the time this gets to about the hour, off it'll go again. There you go. It's heading back. Fantastic. It's not lightning quick. There's all sorts of things you can do with the trains now. You can have custom consists. You can have different carriages on most trains. You can also, at the time of purchase, you can limit them to a particular cruise speed to save money, or to time things better so they don't waste time waiting at stations, and to time your whole schedule better. Right, and this will be what should we call this station? Block switch. I call it block switch. You guys remember some of the other train sims that have been around. Chris Sawyer's ones and Sid Meier's ones will know that block switch seem to always appear in them. So that's sort of a bit of a homage to older ones. I want it to stop again. I'm using the middle mouse wheel to set that to 20. I want it to reverse back out of it again, getting on and off, and all year round. There you are. And then I'm going to close Timetable Assistant. There you are. So that will now happily run backwards and forwards between those two lines, stopping every 20 minutes. Now that's not going to help me a great deal, because what I need to do is buy another train. Click on the space there, click buy, go to freight. I want the fast freight, confirm purchase, click on it, and we're going to do the same, remembering now to put it on the other line. There we are. It's already filled up, which is fantastic. I'm going to again click Timetable Assistant. Off he goes. He's loaded up. Did I build a depot here? I didn't. I'm going to cheat here. Well, not really cheating. No, I am going to cheat. I'm going to turn the Timetable Assistant off and pause the game, and before it gets there, I'm going to give it somewhere to put those goods. I'm going to build click on Material Factory, pop down a materials depot, large one, and I'm going to put it there. No, let's put it there. No, where do I want to put it? There. Not much can go there anyway, because yeah, put it there. I'm in an R-ing, because every item in the game has got a range of influence. I wanted to get the most influence without getting in people's way, and you could put it right in the middle of the sort of urban area, but that would be counterproductive in some ways, because it would prevent buildings that were more profitable being put there. So you need to supply the goods without the goods getting in the way of other stuff, because it takes up a hefty footprint. You get about 2 big city buildings on there, which, if they're yours, are quite a big commercial venture. So let's just finish this off before we end this vid. Get this running. Pack into train, EC6, back to Timetable Assistant. Not missed anything. Start the wizard. Fantastic. Let's get the game going again. Now, when it arrives, I can do all the settings. Okay. I want it to stop. I'm going to set that to 20 again. So there we go. So ground level station, Leafy Grove. So it's just arriving. It's remembered the name of the station. I want to stop for 20 minutes. Want it to reverse when it comes out. Here's an interesting thing I often forget myself, is that the trains go faster going forward than backward. That's modelled in the game. And for the most efficient way, you want them load carrying going forward, and then, unless you could do a loop, and you could certainly do a loop, so they're always going forward. But if you want going in reverse, have them going reverse when they're empty. And I just want it to unload here. What I never want it to do is pick up from here and take stuff back, which it will do if I get it to do both things. So just want it to unload. Now, only weekdays, because the factory at the other end doesn't work at weekends. So, no, actually I won't. I'll have this daily, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I'll have this all the time, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So we'll have this pull into the station, and you'll see the goods should be unloaded here. There we go. And it's waited 20 minutes, and it's reversing. You could speed the game up down here, so I'll go to double time. There we are. Speeds the game up. I'll just pop to picture in picture, go to train 3, and there it is in picture in picture. I can look in the train window if I want. You have mouse control in there. It's just passing that train. Picture in picture is really, really good when you've got lots of trains and there's something you want to keep an eye on. When you've got more than one thing, you want a bit of multitasking. Right, here you go. Now we're back to block switch, the famous block switch. I want it to stop for 20 minutes. I just want a plain stop, that you can use all these other options which are specific departure time, wait for another train to pass through, have multiple individual departures, wait for another particular train to arrive, wait for a train coming from the other direction to go past it, or wait for a train in the same direction on another line to overtake it. It can wait for any of those events. I mean, I can't think of any more. You can have some incredibly complex things going on in game. I only want it to load, but when it gets here, if it's outside the weekend, when it gets back to this yard, I want it to stop and not waste fuel and time going backwards and forwards when there's nothing to take. So I only want it to go weekdays here. Now I didn't do that at the other end because it will be empty at the other end, and I want it to come back and be captured at this end at the end of the weekend. So it might well end up here on a Saturday morning at Leafy Grove on Saturday morning, but I want it to be then returned to block switch where it will spend the weekend waiting there, rather than wait at the other end and not be ready for first thing Monday morning, if that makes sense. So there we are, that's done. Put that back on normal speed, and you see it's picked up and off it goes. Some nice varied looking goods on there, it's fantastic. Right, so there's my town's first passenger and goods vehicles trundling backwards and forwards, doing a really good job. I'm going to be doing some extra stuff later. So thanks very much for watching this first Let's Play. It'll come back to this station settings. It's exactly the same as it was last time. I'll click off that. I can close Timetable Assistant, and all those are then set, and those two trains will then run as per. There we go. Click follow and watch it trundle back. So that's the first Let's Play. Hopefully over the next few weeks and months I'll be building on this and trying to get a reasonably complex and profit-making system built up. You can see here I've already used over 20% of my money. I started off with 500 million. I'm down to under 400 million for a really simple start, so I need to start making money, otherwise that's going to run out. I'll be doing all the other good stuff. I'll be buying buildings, I'll be using road transport, I'll be using road passenger transport for the smaller hops, I'll be playing the stock market, I'll maybe raising and lowering land if things need doing like that, all that kind of good stuff. So thanks for watching the first Let's Play of My Town, which I've called it, and come again. Paul Rowan Clark from Deducate signing off.